Welcome to this Jane's Weather Update. It is Friday, the 31st of May. We begin winter tomorrow, and if you are a farmer that is after rain, hopefully you are happy with what has been moving through, because we've got this very large northwest cloud band. It's fed by tropical moisture. It is juicy. It has delivered some very big falls, particularly to those on the ranges here in Victoria and New South Wales. But it did do a little bit of a stop over South Australia and the western parts of Victoria and New South Wales as it came through. Where are we? We've got this one that is snaking down in through here. It's attached to a low that is driving it that is well south of Tasmania there, and then there is another system that is shaping up here that is on its way in. Okay, so let's take a look at these. So here is the map for today. There it is. The most important thing here is I usually say, where is the high pressure? I know we're really focused on low pressure because that brings the rain, but where is the high pressure? Because that tells us how much moisture we're going to have access to. And the really exciting thing about this one is that the high pressure has split. So we've got one that is over here and we've got one that is over here. That enabled access to tropical moisture to come down into this low pressure system. So a surge of energy from the south, tropical moisture from the north, that produces our rain. And when you've got a system that is tracking right across the country, then most people actually get a bit of a soak from this one. Are there more? Yes, we've got this one that's coming up in here. That's going to move through, but not quite make it over to the east. I'll show you that in a sec. Also, we've got a second little surge that's coming in through here. You'll see it's much, much, much weaker. But once that hits the Tasman Sea, that's going to do some interesting things. Again, a new source of moisture. And we're going to have a low pressure system that is tracking up and down. Okay, so let's take a look at all of that in action. Now, remember this map here, it's for the 8 days, and it started at midnight this morning. So a lot of these falls here have already occurred because that's as the rain band did move through. So you can see all of that rain still pushing eastwards, 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 and then some follow-up activity to move in through here. Another surge coming into the southwest and possibly one more after that, but a bit of a gap in through here now. Okay, so this is the 8 days. Let's have a look. Day 1, which is Friday. So here is our rain band. Again, by this time of day, it's already moving in through here, so it's cleared those parts. But we've got our second little surge there that you can see is a lot weaker than the last one, so much less significant rainfall totals, but it is something that is coming through, and then some showers to follow. Not much happening over in the southwest today. As we go to day 2, that is building, it's coming closer, it hits later in the day for the southwest there. That's our next system coming in. But here over in the east, this is the rain band moving through. So now it's northeast New South Wales, southeast Queensland that is seeing that. Here is the remains of that second little surge coming in. Again, not significant falls, but just a little bit more as it moves through. And all of that is these parts in through here, just a little bit of wet weather coming in with that. Moving into day 3, which is Sunday, here's that next system moving across the southwest. Great falls in that one, and moving into the next day, there it goes. So that's Sunday into Monday as we move through. Here we have Sunday. You can see that picking up as we had, no, move back here. Right, so here's our little follow-up that's here that is not producing anything significant, but as soon as it hits those warm waters of the Tasman Sea, it explodes again. So this is a low pressure system that is likely to develop off the coast. And once we get that, it'll be a cut-off low. And I'll show you what that means in a sec, because that's very interesting for our weather pattern. Okay, so day 3, which is Sunday, there we go, and into Monday, activity here and activity here. Heading into Tuesday, activity here, but where does it go after that? Does not make it into the southeast. So that next surge peters out as it moves across. The next cold front coming up into the southwest is not going to be a repeat of that lovely, juicy northwest cloud band. It will peter out before it reaches the east. But there is another one that is coming up in behind that to affect the southwest later next week. Okay, let's have a look at this low, because that'll be interesting. Looking at the 4-day chart from the Bureau, just to show you how these things work. So we've got our high pressure that has split. We've got our cold front in the middle, tropical moisture coming down to meet that low pressure, and the second little surge that is coming through. Now, why is that second surge not doing anything? It doesn't have a connection to tropical moisture because high pressure is now back in the way. If that high is there, we can't access that moisture and it won't deliver much. So there's that next one just being shunted southwards and not delivering the significant falls of the prior one. But have a look at this in through here and this one in behind it. Moving into Saturday morning and evening. Here we have that coming in, the large high in behind it, there it is. but a cut-off low forms in through here just off the coast once it reaches that warm water. And here's our next weather system coming up. So let's watch what this low is doing. Here it is. It's got a jelly bean high in through here. It's just moving down, just moving down, just moving down. Now, it's likely to be, when you have it connected to, let's move back up to the top here, when you've got a low that is connected to those fast westerly winds that are across the Southern Ocean, it essentially just gets whisked along, and it would go and keep going over New Zealand and then continue and not come back to us. But when we get a cut-off low in that, it's cut off from those fast-moving winds, and so it can take its own path. So here it just meanders down the east coast, and then it may actually do a bit of a loop-de-loop over Tasmania and head back up northwards again along the coast next week. So this one will be with us for quite some time. Now, the key part here is it's got the warm Tasman Sea. We've got a low pressure system there that produces rain for anywhere that is near that low pressure. But it depends how close to the coast that low actually is as to how much you get from that. If it's off the coast a fair distance, you're not going to see big falls. If it's right on the coast, you are going to see huge torrential rain and the winds that come with it too. Okay, so that's what we're heading into. We've got systems moving through in terms of cold fronts, not coming over to the east again after this, but then we've got that low pressure system that is cut off, that is doing a bit of a meandering path along the east coast there. Not for Queensland, this is all of a southeastern thing. Okay, so that in action. Here we have from the Euro model, and this is above or below average for the week as a whole, starting on Monday. So this is week 1. This is interesting here. So we've got another cold front coming through Sunday that moves across and reduces the moisture by the time it reaches here. But it does bring some colder air with it because it is a cold front that has peaked over in the southwest. Otherwise, you've got this warmer weather coming in through here because it's moving through, and then the next one arrives late in the week. But have a look at this here. I'll go back to this image here for a second because, yes, we're going to have southerly winds across the southeast. So they are moving in through here. But because it goes around a low pressure system, our wind travels in this direction around a low. So where is that air actually originated? Yes, it's a southerly here, which you'd expect to be cold. But that's not, it hasn't come down from the Southern Ocean. It hasn't come up from the Southern Ocean. Instead, it's originated here in the tropical waters. It's moved around and it's come around the backside of that low and coming up. A southerly here has actually originated up in the tropics. So it's warm, it's moist, it's humid. So it's a southerly that will have different characteristics, which is why all of this here is looking very warm. For snow, this is not great. We are a week out from the season. This is not good because the air is not actually a southerly that's come from the south. It's actually moved around here and come around. So the cold air is moving here. It's not quite making the southeast. Instead, it is this one coming around. Okay, having a look at the wet weather to go with that. We saw we had the system coming through the southwest on Sunday. We've got the next one coming through later in the week. So here are the remains by Monday. That's where that system is. But you see it tapers out and it doesn't push that rain any further east. So no repeat from this second cold front. Here is the next one that is coming up, producing that wet weather, which is mid to late next week. So they're the two big systems that are coming through. Whereas on the other side here, you've got that rainfall coming in to start off with that first system that came in and then nothing after that. But here we've got that low pressure system. Now, by not being very close to the coast, these aren't huge greens in through here, but this is the area that is going to be impacted. Southeast New South Wales, Gippsland, just coming into Melbourne, not quite, and the eastern parts of Tasmania. That's where we get the rainfall from a low. It stops coming in any further because the ranges, it's on the other side of the ranges and it can't get up and above those. So the first moisture came in and delivered it to the northern side of the ranges. Now we've got this one moving through here, and so it's the eastern side of the ranges that cops it. Okay, that is week 1. Let's move into week 2. What have we got? This is from Monday, the 10th of June, so King's birthday, that week moving forward. We've got cold air lingering in through here, so cooler than average. We've got a bit of a 50-50 mix in here, and we've got a hint of warmth that is coming in. Let's have a look at the rainfall to go with that. Okay, dry, large area there. That would indicate that the next system that comes through doesn't make it over to the east either. We've got our low that was moving around through here. That will have disappeared by this week, but we've got a bit of a green pattern across the southeast there. You'll notice this stops pretty much right at the ranges in through here. It's literally following that line. And that's for a reason. Maybe this means we're going to have some cold fronts come up into the southeast there, rather than peaking over here and coming right across. Now maybe it's coming up into the southeast as a cold front, and that's where it's peaking. But this indicates to me that the highs will not split. They will form a bit of a ridge that sits right across the top, and that means no access to that tropical moisture, which means this rain can't get over to the other side of the ranges. So that won't be a repeat of what we've seen just recently yesterday into today, because it's coming up from the south and there's no tropical moisture access. Okay, so that's week 2. Let's have a look at what is causing these. So we've had 1, 2, 3 cold fronts that are peaking over in the southwest of the country. Hey, here we are. It's Sam. It's the southern annular mode. We've got our strong fronts, and this is indicating that we are in that zone, and we're staying in that zone as we go into the early parts of June. Now, if these were peaking over the southeast of the country, the snowfields would have a very different outlook, because they'd have the cold air to come with them, because they were peaking there rather than sliding across. So this is a southwesterly part, and in terms of where the country is, so they are peaking here, over here, rather than in through here. Right, so having a look at that one, we're expected to continue that, and then this always shows neutral for the longer period. Let's have a look at MJO, so our connection to that tropical moisture. When the high pressure system split, is there something to be fed down? And yes, there is. We're in the green zone at the moment. So that's why we had that lovely, juicy northwest cloud band. That is moving through here now. Look where it is heading. So when the next ones come through, we saw that they peter out as they come over into the eastern parts of the country. They're running out of moisture, they're running out of juice. So here we are moving into the dry zone as we go through these parts of June. So that means good connection to tropical moisture now. It's about to run out as we head over here, which is why we saw this one in particular, no connection to that tropical moisture, nothing can come north of the ranges. All right, looking further ahead at the Pacific Ocean. So here was our strong El Nino that was offset by warm water of Queensland and warm water over the Tasman Sea. But if you didn't get those rainfall systems moving through, you did see just how dry that could be. So here was El Nino. We came out of that. We're now currently in neutral. Everything is heading in this direction, and that's what all of the forecasting is suggesting as well. Now, 1, 2, 3 models have us going across that next threshold into La Nina in between July and August. So that is 3 out of 4, 5, 6, 7 models that have it there. That's almost half. But the next one, it's quite a distance to wait, October, November, for this 4th one to come in and the 5th one to think about sort of coming in this sort of direction. We've got 2 others that don't like it, but at least they don't like it up here. They're just sitting very much on the fence, 50-50. So that indicates that most likely we will end up going into La Nina. We've seen the ocean has been moving. The atmosphere is starting to think about following suit. And what that means is we've got all of the cold water out there, well out in the Pacific Ocean. We've got the warm water of Queensland, and that sets up a circulation to push extra tropical moisture into Australia. So this indicates that from here, or maybe we have to wait to here, we've got an enhanced feed of moisture coming in from the Pacific Ocean. Let's have a look over at the Indian Ocean, which is telling a very different tale. So here we have been sort of in positive. We almost got to the 8-week boundary. It was about 7 weeks it was there, so it's not officially a positive Indian Ocean dipole. That's the El Nino of the Indian Ocean. We came out of it here, but we are back as of today. So we're on that threshold. All of the models suggest that until September, October, we're likely to be on this side. Now, that's the drier side of pushing that moisture around. What does it mean? That we've got over in the box that is over in the Indian Ocean, we've got a cold one in the Pacific, but we've got a warm one over there. So that indicates that the moisture gets pushed away from Australia rather than being pushed towards us. Now, in the Indian Ocean, there is also a lot of warm water that is off the coast of Australia and also Indonesia. There are little bits in there that are starting to turn blue, but not enough yet to be a concern. So what this is showing is, overall, it's likely to be a positive Indian Ocean dipole. That would usually push that moisture away from Australia. However, because we have our own source of warm water off the coast there, we can still get some of that. And a classic example is what has just happened here, where Thursday into Friday, that northwest juicy cloud band, that is moisture from the Indian Ocean in action, feeding our rain system as it comes through. So this shows us that while we are up and through here, it's not completely we're not completely turning the tap off unless all of that water off the northwest coast of Australia and Indonesia turns blue, because then definitely the atmosphere of the ocean, of the Indian Ocean, will start pushing that right away from us. So this is not great news, but we do know that we still have some warm water in reserve. That means that when we had the El Nino and it didn't completely shut off the tap, this one, the positive Indian Ocean dipole, may do the same thing, because we've got our own source of moisture ready to take over to offset that drying. Okay, let's have a look at a couple of maps here. So here we are at janesweather.com. I've chosen Sydney here, having a look at the rainfall. Not a lot today, 30, 50 millimetres. So a huge bit of rain is about to come into Sydney. Break, 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 and then, let me move me out of the way, potentially more rainfall in through there. So what is that? We saw the low pressure system. Let's bring it back up through here. We saw this moving across. So today it's coming from the west, so that's not going to do much because Sydney is on the eastern side of the ranges, so they're on the dry side. Whereas as soon as that low pressure system forms right off the coast of Sydney there, that's when the big falls come in. It moves away down to the south, but then it may come back up and produce another surge of moisture later in the week. So let's have a look at that one in action here. So not big rainfalls today because this is coming from the west, dry side of the ranges. Heading into here, this is when the big falls are likely. 22 to 43 millimetres, 29 to 72 millimetres across all of the different rainfall projections from the different models. You can see they're all starting around the same time, and they are all finishing pretty much around the same time. So it starts there in the morning on Saturday, and it continues until Sunday night in Sydney. Let's take that back out again as we go through Monday. Lovely. Tuesday, lovely. Wednesday, fairly lovely. And then it may come back again for Thursday, Friday as that low pressure system comes nearby. Let's take a look further down the coast at Orbost. Now, I mentioned in order to get the significant rain, you've got to have that low pressure system really near the coast. And this one looks like it may take a path slightly away from the coast. But let's have a look at the guidance here. Lovely today, not the 24 that they had yesterday, but Saturday still looking pretty good. Sunday, here we are. The low pressure system starts to come by. Now, 0 to 10 millimetres. One of the models doesn't like it. As we move into Tuesday, 0.2, again, one of the models doesn't like it, to 7 millimetres. Moving into, here we are on Wednesday, again, 0.8 to 20 millimetres. Again, one of the models does not like it, and Thursday as well. So that's when that low pressure system is likely to be in the vicinity, but some of the models think it is far enough off the coast that it's not going to have a big impact as it moves through the Gippsland area there. Let's head to the other side of the country. We're going to Perth here. We are lovely today, and then we've got this one coming through. So big falls from that cold front that's coming in across the weekend. Tapers out again, and then potential for more later next week. So that's Thursday, Friday. The next one comes in across the southeast. 83 millimetres is the overall average projection from all of the weather models. So nice today, nice there. It hits about here. Let's expand this out. So late on Saturday night, and then it moves through. Heaviest falls are in the early hours of Sunday, and then showery weather to continue through the day on Sunday. The rainfall range, 29 to 64 millimetres, plus that little bit as we get on Saturday night. So this one is a big system as it comes through. Let's put that back down. So Monday, lovely. Tuesday, lovely. Wednesday, lovely. And then here is the next one that kicks off. Let's have a look there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 models. So they have different timing on when that is likely to start. You can see that. This one here, this one here, this one here, and this one here. So that tells us the next cold front, all of them have it, but we could be starting as early as 3 p.m. on Thursday, or it could wait until midday on Friday. So we've got different timing across those models as to when that next one is going to start. If you're wondering about the snow season, here we have our snow forecast page. You can get it under Jane's Update here. I've got an outlook for the snow season which explains what all of these climate drivers are likely to do to us here. And here is the outlook. Now, if you look at the bigger number here, you'll get really excited. Great, in time for the opening weekend, 40, 60, 50 centimetres of snow. Wouldn't that be nice? Up in the New South Wales, around 20 centimetres, a little bit for Tasmania. What's actually going on here? Let's have a look at the lower range of that, and you'll all notice that they're fairly close to zero. I'll take you down to the advanced snow forecast here, where you can get a really quick snapshot of what each of those different weather models have as snowfall potential for each of those days. And here we have Mount Buller, for example. Each of them have a little bit. Australia doesn't. Canada is the one that likes it the most. Temperatures are just sitting just above zero today, so it's not likely to be just south of that. As we move into tomorrow, Euro's got a little bit in there. I'm not overly confident on that one. The big falls here, you'll notice, are just from one model. So here it is. Canada's got the 40, otherwise 2. Nothing. 2 centimeters of snow. It's only Canada that likes it. They like it as that low pressure system is coming through, but we had a good look at this one in through here. That is too warm. Why is it too warm? It starts up here and it wraps around and comes in. So yes, it'll be a southerly wind. Yes, there'll be a low pressure system that's not far away, but will it be cold enough to be snow? I don't think so as we move through. Let's have a look at, again, Mount Buller in action. So here is the temperature hovering above zero today. Into tomorrow, lots of sunshine. Into Sunday, actually a bit of snowmaking potential overnight, and lots of sunshine during the day. Now, this is as that low is starting to move past, and there is a hint that it could be below zero, but I'm not confident in that. It's just everything is screaming too warm for this particular system, and you'll see it in action as we go across. The machine learning, our AI forecast, shows that it is way too warm for that as it moves through, but the nice thing here is at least it clears up for the long weekend, so we'll have some sunshine to practice those turns on all of the excellent snowmaking that they have been able to make. All right, that's it from me for today. Sorry, that was a bit of a long one today, but there was a lot to get through, particularly based on how much rainfall we had coming through from this lovely system as it came in. A little bit more from this one. This next one comes through on the weekend, but it peters out as it comes across. Another one comes up Thursday, Friday next week. We saw the timing, not quite sure, and fair enough. It's a full week away that they've got those differences between the model. And then the low that is going to do its little meander around the southeast here. If you are near that, you're going to get some significant rain if the low comes close enough.